I'd like to thank Coach Brown for joining me today for a little preview of tonight's Strasburg Wiggins top 10 matchup live from Winter Field, 7 p.m. But first of all, Coach, I'd like to talk about the Holyoke game last Friday. Won 37-6, pretty dominating performance for your team. What did you gather from last Friday night's game?
Well, I thought we did a very good job especially on defense. Holyoke kind of surprised me a little bit. They threw the ball a lot more than I expected them to throw. Our pass defense, I thought we got really good pressure on the quarterback with just our front four, so that allowed us to put the other 7 down back into coverage. So I think that helped us a lot. Offensively, I thought we established the run pretty well. I believe we had 265 yards rushing, but a lot of our play was on Holyoke's side of the field. So I really felt we dominated the line of scrimmage. I know Holyoke was pretty young in their offensive line. We were not necessarily as young, a little bit more inexperienced than we have been in the past, but I really felt that we established the line of scrimmage, and that really helped to propel that win.
Well, as we had talked last week, your offensive line was definitely a question mark, but were able to hold their own and then some against Holyoke.
We've made a lot of mistakes. Of course, when we watch film, we always see those mistakes a little bit better. But I really thought as a whole, the offensive line did some really good things. This week, they're really going to be tested. Wiggins has just an extraordinarily big and strong defensive front and offensive line. So we're going to be challenged. But I truly believe if we keep gelling as a line and keep working the techniques that we teach day in and day out, I really think we're going to have a pretty good opportunity to grow and improve in that area.
And as far as practice, working on your own team, what was the focus this week in practice?
The focus, like every week, is just to get better. Like I said, we thought we did some really good things, but we also saw a lot of places that we need to improve. And I think in practice this week, especially because of some of the challenges we're going to have with this big front that we're going to see in Wiggins, we really, just focus on technique, making sure that we understand that, we got to do things correctly because we're not going to be able to overpower them. So if we can out-technique anybody, I think we have a pretty good opportunity.
And you pretty much said it. They've got a pretty large offensive line. So what do we expect to see from the Wiggins Tigers?
I think what we're going to see is power football. I believe they're going to line up their guys behind those big boys. And, their quarterback's very dynamic. He's kind of one of those guys that you watch him on film and you kind of wonder, well, where does he get his stats? But I think he's one of those players that just kind of hides himself in film, but in real life, he's just a spectacular player. So I really believe they're going to be some power football. I think they've got some tweaks in their offense that, they try to hit you with some long plays. Number one, Perez kid, he's a kind of a shifty wide receiver. He's got good speed, and I know they do some nice things on that outside to try to open that passing game up. And so they're going to grind it on the ground, and then they're going to try to hit you with a big play in the passing game.
And you're pretty used to big games. You've coached in a lot of them in your career at Strasburg, and this is definitely a big game. So you have a top 10 matchup, and depending on what rankings you look at, this is a number 3 versus number 5 matchup. So what do you do, and what do you teach your kids as far as preparation for a big game like this?
Well, Kevin, I think every game is big. I truly believe last week's game was huge because it was the first game. And this game this week is just as big as last week, and not because it's a top 10 matchup, but because it's our second game. We still have young players and experienced players that we have still got to develop, and we've got to get a little bit more cohesiveness with our offense. So, I try not to make any game bigger than it is. It's a football game on Friday night. We got to go out and we got to perform. We have to play hard, play intense. Effort and toughness is what we teach every week. And so I try not to focus so much on just being the top 10 team other than it's just week 2.
Now, you obviously you're looking at Wiggins. They're an excellent team. So from your perspective as a coach, what excites you about games like this?
I think the excitement level about a game like this is simply because you've got competition. You've got a matchup. You've got to go head-to-head against a quality opponent. their coaching staff, they do the same thing we do. They go in and out every week, and they find their positives, and they try to expand on those positives, and then on anything they're seeing that's lacking, they're trying to work on. And so, to me, this is why we schedule games the way we schedule them. They're big games, they're top competition, and it just gives our guys a chance to grow. And win or lose, again, I think what we have to do is we have to establish some confidence. We have to establish that we have gotten better again this week, and that we're going to do some good things. So to me, it's really exciting, just because I love high levels of competition like this.
Well, 7:00 tonight, Winter Field. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.